Hey, what's up, guys? This is Nate. Thought I would drop in for a few minutes and talk about really just talk about Resident Evil in general. I mean, for me, I'm not the most like experienced person on Resident Evil, mainly because I jumped into Resident Evil around like Resident Evil 4. So I mean, that's like I started at 4, played 5, played 6, and started playing the remastered edition of 1 on PS4, a couple months ago. And I haven't played the demo for 7 because I'm too much of a scaredy cat. So maybe I'll do that later on. That might be a fun video for later. But as of right now, I've watched all the Let's Plays of it. Like I don't know if I can play that. Like especially if I try to shut it up with with the whole 3 monitor setup I have in my office. So that might be kind of cool with this your whole NVIDIA surround stuff. So maybe later that might be a video for later. But right now it's like But I just wanted to kind of chat about what I feel about the new direction of it. I mean, it's been out, it's been circulating a lot, and you've all seen the video for it. You've all seen all the different things for it. So I mean, in general, when I first played, I'll start at the beginning. When I first played Resident Evil 4, it was a fantastic game. It was really fun. It had a really awesome, just really solid gameplay, really solid story. At the time, now it's kind of cheesy. Well, honestly, the story and the character Leon Kennedy was kind of cheesy back then, and this was like back in '04, '05 time. So, so it was still kind of cheesy, even it's kind of '80s-ish a little bit, but it was still a really fun game. I really loved and really appreciated everything that the game did, and I think that moving forward into Resident Evil 5, it was definitely kind of an interesting departure, even though it had very similar gameplay and added a few new things. It was still very just kind of, it was very different. It was like horror in daytime. And I mean, I guess to a degree, you could do that and you could make that work. But, in some cases, it kind of did work. In some cases, it kind of didn't. So, when I played 5, I liked 5. I mean, and I may get barked at by a lot of people that are Resident Evil purists that wanted the isometric, perspective. They wanted and they have every right to want that. But I do think that 4 and 5, yeah, I think 4 was a fantastic game. I think 5 kind of stumbled a little bit, and just to me it wasn't really scary. I mean, it had a little bit of like boo scares or jump scares, maybe one or two that may have, at the time may have gotten me a little bit, but nothing really substantial. I think with moving into Resident Evil 6 was just legitimately not scary. I mean, anybody's a hard. I played a lot of that game. It was not. I mean, at that point, it had gone full Michael Bay action movie at that point, and I guess it started at 4, worked its way up on 5, and then by the time we were at 6, it was this full blown Michael Bay action movie. And I think that it was interesting. I mean, it was probably one of the best playing Resident Evil games, and I say that mainly because I did like the action vibe of it, and it was a fun game to play, even though it wasn't really Resident Evil anymore. It was like it was trying to be too many things to too many people, because you had the first campaign, you know, with Leon and Helen. I want to say it was Helen. I don't remember quite, but you correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. I want to say it was Helen, but or Ellen. But I think that with the first campaign, it was trying to be more kind of like the classic Resident Evil a little bit. Well, classic somewhat. It was kind of RE4-ish, kind of, and it was trying to do that. And then when you had the second campaign, you had the Chris, you had the Chris centric campaign, that was like, okay, this is very actiony, very kind of like, yeah, I guess you say if you were to mix like Shilcom with zombies or something, kind of something like that, or like, well, or maybe a better example would be like Gears of War with zombies, or not really zombies anymore, really more just infected people, and then different variations of infected people. So it was kind of a weird type of setup for Christian Pierce's campaign. And then you had the Jake and Cher. I'm sure I'll be remembering names sometimes. If it's anything like that's not Bob or Joe or Peter, I forget like the name completely. Shuri and Jake's campaign. Okay, that's correct. Okay, with that campaign, that was pretty much kind of just like the Christian Pierce campaign. Really, it was like, I mean, I'm commenting mainly on the fact of like gameplay. I'm really gameplay and overall feeling. I mean, anything besides that, whatever the gameplay and whatever the general vibe of the campaign was, that's kind of how I'm judging this. I'm not judging this so much by anything other than that. So it's, that game was fun. It was a fun co-op game. It played really well. There was no element of horror in there, in my opinion. And that's just how I felt about six, honestly. Now moving on to seven. Seven looks cool. Seven does look really cool. It seems like a return to form for Resident Evil. It seems like it's going back to its horror roots, which is awesome, and I really think it's gonna be an amazing game. I need to play the demo. I might pick up the full release if I don't cry like a little girl after playing the demo. But then again, I probably should buy it because it's scary, and it might be fantastic. I think the first person thing is just terrifying, honestly. It really is. It's like, oh my gosh. It's like playing Outlast, pretty much. That's really what reminded me a lot of was Outlast. And that game is creepy. It's creepy. I mean, if you haven't played it, you should check it out. If you're really a horror fan and love being scared, go play Outlast because that game is just, ugh. Yeah, that's some terrifying stuff. But I think that with seven coming out next week, it's going to be interesting, and I'm really interested in hearing your guys' thoughts and opinions about it. Also, I'm really interested and really seeing what the reviews are. I think a lot of people have been raving about it. People who played it, at different trade shows and different reviewers, different review websites that I've been talking about over the last several months. So they're very excited about it. I think the VR elements are going to be really, it's probably going to be amazing, but I'm too much of a scaredy cat to do it. So there's no way you're going to see me doing the whole VR thing on that. Like I'm too scared just to play the game as is. So I'm like, I don't know about all that. But with that being said, it's going to be really interesting. It's going to be a really interesting game, I think, and I think I'm going to try to play the demo if I can, work up the courage to do so. If it's still on Steam, I'm going to work up the courage to try to do it. And that might be a video to look forward to, me screaming like a little girl, because I like playing a horror game where I can fight back. I don't like those powerless horror games. So Resident Evil 4 was like that because when you first started playing it, you're like, you're not really powerless, but you're kind of like you're outnumbered and a little outgunned. Then as you progress through the game, and you got shotguns, and you got pump action shotguns, you got semi-auto shotguns, you got different pistols, you got rocket launchers, you got body armor, you got revolvers, you got machine guns, you got submachine guns, you got sniper rifles, I mean, you got grenades, you got incendiary grenades, you got smoke bomb or flash grenades. I mean, by the end of the game, man, you were like Commando Joe. You were ready for anything. You weren't afraid of nothing because the game really stopped becoming scary after I'm walking down all these guns and body armor on me. It's like, come get some. So that was the cool thing. It's like you start off not being able to do much, and then you end off being able to just take on everything at once if you had to. So I like that, but that's everybody has what they like when it comes to horror games. I mean, a lot of people wouldn't really say that's horror. It's more like it's survival horror, but it's like you get really strong at the end of the game. It's kind of like Dead Space, But I love Dead Space, and that's another example of that. But I do think that real quick that I do think that Dead Space kind of took Resident Evil's kind of survival horror crown from it for a little while. It took it with one, it took it with two, and then it kind of fumbled with it down the football field with three. 'Cause three was kind of, I don't know, it's like it's got some horror in there, it's got some elements, but no, it's just, well, I was playing co-op with a friend of mine, and we were just destroying stuff after a while because we were walking in a hallway, and in Dead Space 3. And we, we had a whole sea of necromorphs charging us from the other side of the hallway. And like we just spin around and we hear them behind us. We just spin around. We just mow them all down with rocket launchers and just machine guns. And then when the dust clears, I tell my friend, "This is not scary anymore." He's like, "Yep." Like not even close anymore. But you know, we also have been playing the game a lot, and we had gotten a lot of upgrades and done a lot of things in the game. But, that's a discussion for another day and probably another video. So, but anyway, with that being said, back on the Resident Evil, yeah, I'm kind of ranting now, but back on the Resident Evil thing, I think Resident Evil 7 is going to be a fantastically cool game. And I'm really interested in hearing what you guys think in the comments below. And yeah, go ahead and leave a comment down below. And I'm repeating myself, I'm sorry. And have a great day.